Now, talking about the Moeller stroke, there's two basic concepts, technically speaking.
Right.
And for those who don't get good quality with the video, with the handheld video, I actually put out a video called the Secret Weapons for the Modern Drummer.
Yes,
that really you know, shows how I do it. But you know, like the basic two concepts is, you know, what you would call as like a glasso stroke or a free stroke. Like Joe Morello used to refer it to as like a free stroke, which is basically the stick starts in an up position and you just throw it down to the surface like a rubber ball, and you let it return by the means of like the rebounds. Boom, just like that. Okay. Now the Moeller stroke is the opposite. The Moeller stroke starts in a down position and ends in a down position. So in order to create a stroke, you have to have a wind-up motion, okay? It's like a whip. Now, as a whip creates a lot of kinetic energy. You know that like the way a whip works, you know, it gets smaller. However, you don't want to get in the way of that, you know, small little thing that is, you know, not bigger than like a cable, because if that hits you, it will really hurt. So it's a devastating energy. So basically the idea is to translate energy in a natural way, just as I would move a cable. You see, if I move this cable, like the energy will travel through that cable, right? Well, the same thing is that this is like a chain of like events. Now, the advantage of that is that you can put more force, or you can generate more force, not by the means of muscular power, but of motion.
Motion,
right?
Yes.
So it's a very energy-saving maneuver, right? So to explain to you, let's say the killer application for that is accented structures. Okay. So let's say if I would do a single stroke roll, the Moeller stroke is not really, or just like an even single stroke roll, like the Moeller stroke is not, it's of no use.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
We
You're using
fingers,
fingers.
you know, or like wrist. But as soon as we play accents, okay, if I would not use a Moeller stroke, I would have to lift the stick more up. I would have to do this.
Yes.
That consumes a lot of energy. So if I can achieve the same concept by the means of a short whipping motion, which is generated from the back of my arm, or I mean, it can be generated from like the wrist, or like, you know, how it's generated, you can check on like the video. But okay, so I will go. So you see, there's a little popping motion on my wrist. Okay, so all of that now, if I remove my left hand, you have this. This is referred to as like the Moeller pumping motion, okay? In slow motion, it's like, okay? So, this essentially boils down to just this. Everything else is done by the stick and like the rebounds. Okay,
With
now
the traditional grip, how do you approach that?
It comes more from here.
Just go this way. You just go this way, like out.
Well, it's more here. This doesn't do much though. The motion really comes. I get the motion, the power from like the back of my arms. However, it depends on how loud you play. Now, the killer application for it, or what it's used for, is accented strokes. So if I go, that's all Moeller. Now I use Moeller for. Or if I go, I go, everything that goes like this is like molar, which is evidently much more economic than go like this, right?
Right.
If I can go whap, just like that, you know, a motion, like a sweeping motion,
Right.
it's essentially a molar stroke,
Right.
right? So the molar stroke is not an academic concept. It's just a street concept. That was not developed by, Sanford Moeller didn't develop the molar stroke. He observed it with drummers that were winning competition that came from the Civil War. And,
Right.
and just thought, what are those guys doing? This is not the way we learn how to play drums in like drum corps. They did something very against the academic protocol. So that's what it's good for, you know.
Right.
And I always played molar all my life, but I just didn't have all the parts. And like Jim Japin, who knew this motion so well, kind of showed me, you know, the integral parts, you know, like the small stuff, you know, there's in the clock, you know, like the small dials. So we're like, okay, do a little bit more like that, adjust the angle that will, you know, or the pressure, like, you know, the way I hold the stick, like the fulcrum, all those little things come into play.
Right.
But the basic idea is just this. And you can see this motion everywhere in martial arts, in like nature. If a cat will try to catch a mosquito, it will do a molar stroke. It's like it's like that. It's like that. You know, it goes from back here like a power, boom. You know.
Right.
So if it works for that, it probably works for drumming too.
Yeah.
And that's a killer application.
Yeah, I've been working
Accident
on
strokes.
Yeah, I've been watching your DVD. I've been working on the molar stroke.
Cool.
Sometimes it just gets frustrating, and you know, how long did it take you to learn, like, study with Jim? How long did you study with him?
Who? I didn't.
Jim Chapin.
I didn't study with Jim Chapin.
Oh, okay.
He showed me the stuff.
He just showed you the stuff,
in a
yeah.
hotel room at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
While emptying my minibar. All right.
Jojo.
Thank you.
Do you want to play another song? All right.